Hi and welcome everyone, this is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. Thank you for joining me. Looks like we've got a couple of viewers here already. I'm going to give it a few minutes before people start showing up. However, sorry about being late guys, I was working on configuration and some other things in the background, and I need to know if you guys are able to see, not only see me, how is the quality of video? One, and two, I need to know how the quality of sound is. So let me pull up my chat here. All right, I got my chat here. Oh, hey, Bushcraft's nice to see. So there's no live chat, it's just a test. No, this is, okay, let me see here. Oh wow, okay, now I'm peaking. Let me bring this down a little bit. Okay, how's that? Okay, I'm still peaking. Let me bring it down to about 60%. How is that? Okay, so I've got my audio volume. Okay, yep, okay, perfect, it's fixed. Let me go into my settings real quick, and let me go into my filters. Noise suppression, okay, compressor. So I had it at about 20. That should work. All right, cool. Now I'm not peaking. All right, so now I got that fixed. Let me get my chat back up here. All right, so what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about Cybergeddon. Now, I know that you guys had some questions about the short that I put up yesterday, and I want to go ahead and I want to address that first before I get into it, give everybody a chance to get in here and see where we're at as far as viewers, because this is an important topic. If you are a prepper, having, understanding technology is going to be paramount moving forward. It's not just about, okay, so like 10, 15 years ago, if you wanted to have a homestead and you wanted to have your bullets and your weapons and all those different things, you would have been prepared. But over the last 10, 15 years, technology has grown at such an exponential rate that now, if you're not preparing yourself on the technology side, if you're not preparing yourself for the different threats that are coming about, then you are putting yourself at risk. Okay, so let me talk about the short that I put out yesterday. So a lot of you guys were saying $50, that's way too much. Okay, that wasn't really the intent. So right now I'm in the process, and if you're a subscriber over on Patreon and you get the behind the scenes, you are aware of the fact that a website is being built. Now, I'm not going to give you guys the website address because it's being built. We don't want to, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't want to get overwhelmed with traffic while it's in the process of being built. But if you do happen to stumble across it, it's not that hard to find. There is a very, very nice message that's on there, and it will kind of help you get prepared for what is coming. Okay, but with that being said, the whole $50 thing was, okay, this is the one, I made the shirt by hand, okay, so I had to go, we had to go purchase the shirt, we had to print off the design, we had to put it on there, and so on and so forth. But this is our prototype. It's meant to be a collector's item. You can have a quarter in your pocket, okay, and that quarter is worth a quarter. However, on the collector side, if you are a collector of things, you want to be able to get in on, be the first to own something that is never going to be recreated, in the sense that there's a couple of mistakes that I made on the alignment of the shirt, on the sleeve, and that is what is going to make it a collector's item. So the reason why I put it up there for $50 is, if you want my prototype, if you want the first shirt that I ever made, I made it by hand, and you want it to be able to have it for a collector's item, that's where the pricing is. Now, once the site goes live, if you want to go buy the shirt retail and, you know, have it without blemish, and be able to choose your color, have long sleeve, short sleeve, have a hoodie, whatever it is that you decide that you want. Okay, and these, until we get to a point where I have enough orders, a lot of this is going to be made by hand. So this is all going to be handcrafted and things like that. And so they're going to retail for $20. Okay, it's, you know, essentially we're doing the traditional markup of 40%, which is what anybody does out there in the commercial world. So you go and you buy a can of beans for $1, they bought it for 60 cents, and they did a 40% markup. Okay, so there's you know, 40% of everything that you make, 60% of it goes towards the cost of it, 40% goes towards profit, and that's a standard business model that's out there for any type of product in which you purchase, whether it be something you buy online, whether it be something you buy in a store. There's always a 40% markup. Now, if you can go out there and make it yourself, that's great, but these designs are being copyrighted so that nobody can sit there and take the designs from us and try and mass produce it on their own. And if they do, they're it's your 50% markup. Okay, even 50%, but you know, we're gonna retail it for $20. It's gonna be $19.99, or it's just gonna be $20 even, plus $5 for shipping and handling. And what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna go down to the maker's room, and we're going to, you know, print everything off, and we have to buy the materials, and we're gonna iron it on. And I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna want to turn the shirt inside out. And once you turn this shirt inside out, it will create a little bit more longevity of the shirt. But again, the prototype is meant to be a collector's item, which is why it's priced the way it is. If nobody gets it, nobody gets it. It's a prototype, and then once I get to a point where, you know, I can have an office, I'm gonna put it in a frame in my office and say, this is the first shirt that I made. However, if you want to be able to have it for yourself, for your own collector's item, you are more than welcome to pay $50 plus $5 shipping and handling. As long as you're in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., we're going to have to talk about shipping, because I don't know what it costs to ship internationally. Okay, so that's the reason why the shirt was $50 or is $50, and you know, it's priced out there for somebody who, you know, really values the channel, so on and so forth. And who knows, maybe later on I might, if I don't sell it, maybe I might raffle it off for something. But you know, it's still to be determined. Okay. Another thing that I've been doing over the last few days is I have been working on streamlining my logo and things like that. So as you see, the logo and the background is changing. And again, so let's get into Cybergeddon, because it's been about 10 minutes and I only got an hour to do this live stream, so on and so forth. So what I'm going to be doing here is, let's go ahead and go to, let me take that off. So this is the threat map, but what is Cybergeddon? Okay, now Cybergeddon, if you go to the wiki, it's going to tell you that, you know, it's going to give you the history behind it. But the most important thing that you really want to understand is that because of how dependent we've become on technology and kind of how things are going technologically wise, we as a society are becoming more vulnerable. You have your bank account. Okay, what if somebody hacks into your bank account and takes your bank or your bank information? They're probably trying to rob the bank, and it just happens to directly affect you. You know, this is what we're talking about, is information security. You have something that has been talked about over the last couple of years, which is 5th generation warfare. So in chat, those of you that are here, who knows what 5th generation warfare is? Are you aware of it, or do I need to explain it to you? Okay, so let me know, and I will keep going. But with 5th generation warfare, this is something, Cybergeddon is something that could really take down our system, and in some ways, you know, it will erode the trust of people to the point to where they no longer will want to use the technology the way that they're supposed to, or the way that it was intended, because they'll lose faith in technology, and then that's going to send us backwards as a society. The one thing about technology is it allows us to be able to do more faster, and we're able to be more productive productive, be able to accomplish more things, and we're able to evolve not only in technology, but in the overall evolution of us as human beings when it comes to technology. It is something that is kind of pushing us to points of change much quicker. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a news report out there many, many years ago talking about how it used to take 500 years for us to have a societal change, and over the last maybe 10 years, it's about every 6 months we get a generational change in technology. And technology is evolving so fast just because of our ability to use the technology to our benefit. Okay, so there are some things that we as an individual need to use. So since nobody said anything about what fifth generation warfare is, I am going to pull up my document. So I'm writing an article. So part of my website is that there are going to be articles. So let's talk about the different generations of warfare. So like first generation warfare was what we used to see our ancestors do. It was fought with large armies, like what we saw in like what we see in the movies. They had things like the phalanx and just handcrafted tools. Second generation warfare was the introduction of muskets and gunpowder. Third generation warfare focused on speed, and fourth generation warfare was the decentralization of the military, where we started hiring private companies like BlackRock and the Wagner Group that were contracted by governments. But with fifth generation warfare, it is the introduction of fifth generation warfare means that wars will be fought less on the battlefield and more in the public square. Okay, so the average person, really, they think that the future of all wars will be fought on the battlefield like we did in Vietnam or like we did in World War II. However, there is very little public support for wars with heavy casualties. This has caused actors, the state actors, the state governments, to change the way they wage war from the battlefield to places like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, hacker groups like, let's say, Anonymous or some of the Russian hacker groups. Okay, so and the thing is fifth generation warfare was kind of starting many, many years ago, especially in Vietnam, because if you remember, if you know anybody that's ever lived during that time that was an adult and got to keep up on the news, they'll say that we lost the war once the public support was lost. And so this is why the government spends so much time, effort, and energy on getting us prepared for war psychologically, so that they don't lose the war at home, because this is really where the battlefield is fought, in the future wars that we're going to have. Okay, so just a kind of an example of how we're seeing fifth generation warfare play out in our current society is that we don't realize that since 2020 we've been defending ourselves as an American society from fifth generation warfare, starting with misinformation surrounding the election. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. One side believes this, another side believes that, and a lot of this has to do with the way that we're able to consume and get information, and how easy it is to be able to put an article up there. So if you guys watch Redacted and watch their intro, there's a CIA agent who talks about how they put an article out in another newspaper, and then had a local U.S. newspaper use that as a cited source, even though it started as complete misinformation. And so therefore they got the public to believe, because it was a source cited, in order for them to be able to get the narrative started. Okay, and so this is kind of what happens surrounding the 2020 elections. And since we're tied to technology, it's so easy to be able to get information, even incorrect information, and as a result, it's created an even wider division within our country. We are now actually separating ourselves into regions based upon politics and regional culture, and things that we've seen is that it has led to protests like what we saw with the George Floyd protests or riots, however you would like to describe it. And you may think that this is the end, but since 2020, we have dealt with the increased amount of cyber attacks from state and non-state actors, and they've attacked our financial institutions, our food supply, and our energy production. And even over the last couple of years, we've even seen single individuals. Like if you remember, last winter there was an individual that went out and was shooting at the primary transformers for the region for the electricity grid because they wanted to take it down. It wasn't an army that did this, it was an individual that did this. And this is kind of, again, what fifth generation warfare is, okay? Unfortunately, we are at war whether we realize it or not, and we as the public, it's taking us a while to get used to it and understand what is happening to us as a society, how we are having outside actors come in and sow not only disinformation, but take facts and twist them around to incite people to get angry, to protest in the streets, to look at their government and have more distrust than we've ever had at any point in time. Okay, so this is going to lead to a revolution in cybersecurity, because in order to be able to protect us, and this is where we're seeing, and part of the reason why we're seeing what's going on with the thought police through the government is that they're trying to create policies. And as much as it is a double-edged sword, and we as Americans, we're used to being able to have our freedom of thought, and we're used to being able to have our freedom of information, that freedom also comes at a price. And we as a society lack the desire or the willpower to be able to truly inform ourselves. So therefore, the government feels that it is its responsibility to come in there and regulate that for us. When I was in the Marine Corps going through boot camp, one of the things that they said to us was that they call them the 10%ers or the rocks. The thing is 90% of society follows the rules. It's those 10%ers that go out there and break the rules that cause the legislation or the rules to be made that affects the other 90% who are following the rules to begin with. So you're always going to have those disruptors, those people who just are going to be rebellious to begin with. Okay, and with that being said, the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum, okay, has come out with. There we go. The World Economic Forum came out in 2014, and they were talking about global risk. And this was something that was done at one of those Davos conventions, and something that they were talking about. And a lot of the things that is happening for many different reasons is that not only are our corporations and the companies that we rely on to do business here in America getting to a point where their trust is eroding in the system. Therefore, what do you do when your trust is eroded? Do you either make your own way and do the things that we're seeing in the public, such as lobbying, so that they can make things better for them, or are you just going to stand there and take it? And so the average individual is going to stand up and make their own changes. And so this is some things that the World Economic Forum back in 2014, before we started seeing a lot of the things that we're seeing, started getting worried about when it came to the information security and cybersecurity, is that you have their risks are, as we can see here, income disparity, which we're seeing, extreme weather, which we're seeing, unemployment and underemployment, which is what we're seeing, climate change, which is the narrative in which we're getting, and cyber attacks, which is what we're seeing on a regular basis. And most of these companies, they're not actually coming out and going public with the fact that they're getting ransomware or malware put into their systems, that they're getting hacked to a point to where they as companies are vulnerable. And the reason why they're not telling people about it is because they are collecting information on you, whether regardless of what it may be. They're collecting the data that you give them based upon your usage of their system. Okay, and then now all of a sudden that is getting to a point to where it is compromising you as the individual. Now, if you a video that's going to be coming up towards the end of the month, I'm actually working on it right now on my Patreon channel on the constitutional history, is we're going to be talking about the right to privacy and the Fourth Amendment, and not only what it is that your rights are, but what you as an individual have the duty and obligation to perform. Okay, so there are different, as we say. So getting back on topic, one of the things that the World Economic Forum is talking about, where companies are losing their faith in the system, is the fact that governments are spying on these companies themselves, because you have defense contractors. They're having to worry about spies, whether it be from foreign actors or from domestic actors within their system. Not only that, there's another thing that is coming out. It is called hacktivism, and this is something that I think is way more dangerous than anything that the state government can do, because what they're doing is in a more of a controlled environment. Okay, so in this controlled environment, they are able to put sniffers in there and put other things in the system that will allow them to be able to get the information that they want if the company's not giving them that information. But also another thing is that legislation has been created that the government forces these companies to give them a backdoor into their software, so that they at any time can go in there and monitor not only the traffic, but who uses it, why they're using it, and what it is that they are doing. Okay, and so this is where you as the prepper, as the individual, need to become more aware of your digital privacy, and to be able to get more of a digital literacy in the products and services in which you use, because your information is being compromised. And yes, the government may have it, and the government is going to use it for their purposes, but what happens when you have an activist that is concerned about cow farts, and then decides they want to go after anybody that eats meat? And so now all of a sudden they hack into a bank and they start looking at your transactions, or they hack into a grocery store to see who's buying meat because it has a SKU number, and then they can go out there and individually target those individuals. And you as an individual need to be able to take your own information security as seriously, because as we grow in our technological revolution, as we're growing in the amount of technology that we use and how dependent we become on it, if you, the individual, don't take an opportunity to secure your own person, to secure your own data, your own information, that is now your property too. So you're not only defending land, you're not only defending objects or assets such as gold and silver and your table or your kitchen cabinet or whatever it is, but now you have to worry about securing your own data, your own personal information, your own property. And so this is kind of the turn that as I've had to kind of become more static as in my travels, just because of health issues. If you watch my behind the scenes, you'll know that apparently I thought I was having panic attacks. Apparently it is not panic attacks. What it tends to be actually is I'm suffering from I guess it's called like a frontal lobe seizure. It's because I always thought that seizures were something you'd sit there and flop out on the ground, but apparently seizures is more than just that. So if I decide to go out there and get back out on trail, I really have to be concerned about my health. And I thought my health I was in much better shape than I am, but because I did not take care of myself in my younger years, now that I'm older, I'm having to pay the price for that. So now I kind of have to figure out a way to be able to pivot. And I think that there are a lot of preppers out there that share with you news and information. They're sharing with you things that are pertinent for you to be aware of, but they're not really giving you the information, the most important information, because over hundreds or thousands of years we've learned to protect our property. Get yourself a rifle, set yourself up security parameters and things like that. But with how fast technology is moving, we as a society are not fully prepared, nor are we educated in how to be able to secure our person and our digital affairs effects that are online, because at any time anybody can get access to your information if you're not taking the time to secure your information. So let's go here and look at the threat map. Okay, so let's look at this threat map here. Dadgummit, I did it again. Let me fix this, guys. Okay, so, oh wait, no, I had it like this for a reason. Okay. All right, so this is kind of moving around. As you see, these are all the different attacks that are happening on a daily basis for us as a globe. As you see, there are things going. We have people within the United States, whether it be government or individual actors, that are trying to do these attacks over into Europe and into Russia. I was reading an article that says since the start of the Ukraine war, the hacker group Anonymous is actually taken on and gotten into the digital battlefield to go against Russia and to be able to attack them. And so not only do we have people on our side that are acting on our behalf, the other side also has people acting on their side and on their behalf. And so as you see, this is kind of the basic threat map that we as a society are facing, and this is happening. Some of this is real time, some of this is data that is being composited with a delay. Okay, because it takes a while to compile the information, especially large data like this. But let's look over here. And we're looking at Russia. Now, Russia really isn't getting attacked as much as the rest of the world. But if you notice, it's coming from India, and it's coming, well, let's see here. So it's coming from India, and the United States is facing the most attacks out of all this. But that's also because we're the top dog, we're king of the hill here. Okay. So this is just something for you guys to work to think about. Now, I am putting this on. I am going to put the links in the description after the live stream is over for you guys. But this is just something that I want you guys to be aware of. That this is real time. This is happening to us as a society. Okay. So one of the other things that we were getting prepared for, that society itself was getting prepared for, is that they thought that with the Ukrainian war, okay, crap. All right, guys. All right, so let's wait longer. Okay. All right, so let me see here. It looks like I'm having an issue here. Okay, how is my stream health? Okay, so it's still going. It's just my OBS has frozen. So if you guys are not getting any type of message or you're not seeing me, please let me know in chat so I can see here. Okay, live chat. Okay, there we go. All right, I had to reattach it and go back to the YouTube browser. Okay, so let's see if OBS has fixed itself. Okay, so it's just not working properly. Okay, well. All right, guys. So this is the basics of what Cybergeddon is about. This is the basics of what we as individuals need to really be thoughtful of. Now, over the next few months, because of my mentor and his background and his knowledge and information, he is making sure that he is sharing this information with me that I can share with you guys. Okay, and as the website comes up over time, this is something that I, as a as a content creator, am going to be sharing with you, because I think it's absolutely important to be able to share with you as individuals, ways to be able to protect and secure your data. And just to kind of give you my own little personal rant here. I went to school for Windows administration. I actually started out in the network security program, ended up getting a job working for a network consulting firm. And when I got a job for that network consulting firm, he says, look, you need to go off and you need to become an administrator, because I was just looking for my first IT job to get my experience, right? Well, with that being said, I did not realize how badly I was being educated, because the thing is you're getting told about, Windows, but Windows is more like an end user program, because it does all the thinking for you. It doesn't actually require you to have knowledge of how to use your technology. And so my mentor and I are sitting there working on my laptop at a coffee shop down the street, and somebody turns on their Windows machine, and because by default Windows turns on broadcasting, and we were able to see his hard drive. We could have connected to it. We could have gone in there and got all of his information, because Windows by default just turns it on and broadcasts. And because we're in a Linux machine, we're able to see all of that. Whereas, not only that, but with Linux, one of the things that I'm liking about it, because I've always been security minded as an individual, is that with Linux, with Linux, it just I was told, oh yeah, it's nothing but command line. Yeah, in the server environment it is command line, but when Windows, they make sure that everything's a wizard. You just point and click, so you don't really have to learn anything. You don't really have to know what you're doing. You just have to know what piece of software to install. You just have to know where to load it, what wizard to run, and all these different graphic tools. Well, the thing is with Linux, it allows you both environments. So for the end user, you get a desktop environment. I'm sitting on a desktop environment, and it looks just like Windows. But the thing is it's faster and it's more secure, because the thing about Linux is that it may be freeware, it may be open source software, but as open source software, what it requires for you, even though you're getting it for free, is it requires you to educate yourself. Because when you get it out of the box, it turns everything off and lets you turn it on by the user, because you decide how secure you want your machine to be. You decide what things that you want on there. Whereas Windows, it sits there and loads everything all into one, and it just, that's why your machine is bogged down. I could take an older computer, a 10-year-old computer like what my old man has, and I could put Linux on it, and it could run faster than the most expensive Linux computer, than the most expensive Windows hardware that you could get, and so. Yes, Linux is, off of what you provided permissions. Yes, and the thing is you get to secure your own machine. You get to have a hands-on. Do you want a house that has an open door that anybody can just walk up and enter a code and walk into your house, or do you want to have a key that only you have that allows you to decide who comes in and who goes out? Okay, and so not only is a Linux machine going to perform better for you on older hardware because it's not as girthy, but here's the thing: outside of the desktop environment, and this is something that baffled me, because I thought that being raised in the Windows environment, I thought that Windows had the full market share, but apparently it doesn't. Actually, I think somewhere around 80% of all machines that are running in our system are ran off of Linux. Just the end user and the whether it be in the corporate environment or whether it be in the home computing environment, those guys are using Windows and Mac. Everybody else is using Linux. So I wasted $40,000 to go and learn how to be a Windows administrator in the Bay Area, where Windows is dominant. Okay, and so what did I end up getting in return? I got a wasted money and a lot of debt, that and an irrelevant education, because for me, once I stepped outside of the Bay Area and I went and got another IT job into another place, what ended up happening was I found out how little I actually knew, because all of the server environments, on the back end is running Linux because it's more secure. It is a way to be able to make sure that you can secure your data, secure your permissions, and lock down a system. Not only that, it reduces latency because, when it comes to running a network, you need to be able to have information come in and out as fast as you possibly can. Plus, you need something that's stable. You constantly have to reboot your Windows machine because it has a stop error here or has a stop error there, versus what you get when you are using other when you're using other forms of software. All right, guys, so I'm going to be wrapping this up. Does anybody have any questions about what I've talked about? Are there any subjects you would like me to expand on more? What would you like me to do, and how would you like me to approach this for you so that you can learn this better? Because this is going to be important. Not only being a prepper, you're going to have to figure out how to secure your data, how to secure your information. More than anything else, you're going to have to learn to secure that, because you already know how to secure your property. You know how to secure your land and your homestead and your home. Okay, but do you actually know how to secure your data to keep people from, that are malicious to not be able to hijack your information, because it's all going over the airwaves. And so anybody at any time, if they know what they're doing, can get your information, and they can use it for their own means, whether it be malicious or not malicious. Having something like this is extremely important for you as a prepper to be prepared for. And so I'm hoping that you guys will find value in this. Now, there is a learning curve that I'm going through with this, because I've stepped out of the IT field for so long that now that I'm getting back into it and relearning a lot of the stuff that I already knew, technology has passed me by so quick that I really don't even know everything that is has been done, because we have more that we can do with less, and it just keeps getting better and better. So same Windows going 40 frames per second, Linux same game going 250 frames per second, and NVIDIA. Okay, yeah, so you've got a 380, I've got like a 2060. Okay, so can stream and play Steam games without lag, and I ping games. Yeah, if you're a gamer, Linux is definitely going to be good for you. But I will tell you that you got to be careful, because a lot of these with Windows, it is a paid Windows and Mac. It is paid. Okay, you're paying for somebody else to design something for you that you don't have to think about using. All you have to do is turn it on and just start playing, install the software you want, and then just keep going without having to worry about configuration. But the thing is they're configuring it in the way that they want it. And somebody like Windows, if they want you to be able to broadcast so that it is easier sharing, then they're opening your system up so that anybody who has the knowledge and ability can now get your information, even though from Windows to Windows you may not be visible. From other systems other than Windows, you are now becoming visible, and that is something that directly affects your own security. So anyways, guys, if you want to, just to let you know some other things that are going on, I am in the process of saving up to go to Iowa. Okay, I will be going with my mentor to Iowa for a couple of reasons that I will be explaining once I get there. Now, part of what's going on with my mentorship is that we are also doing a joint venture. Okay, he has a lot of talents that I just don't have. Me being the content creator, having the ideas, having the ability to be public. A lot of people that are security minded want to keep their anonymity, so therefore they want somebody to be able to help them put their message out while they stick behind the scenes and kind of help guide the individual. And so that's kind of the situation that I've gotten into with my mentor. And so we are doing a joint venture, and so part of my joint venture is I will be following him to Iowa as we go there to kind of get out of the South and some of the issues that guys like me and him have in this area. I'll just put it that way. Okay. So if you guys put anything in my tip jar, or if you put anything, geez,
you don't have to yell at people. You put everything, whatever you put in my tip jar. And by the way, I have finally finished my verification with YouTube, so now I can get paid through the monetization program. I'm no longer worrying about that. So if you decide to do a super chat or anything else like that, that goes into my coffers, and I get paid off of my advertising budget. So as soon as I get to that point where I reach the threshold where they can pay out, then I will get paid. And as time goes along, another thing that we're working on is we are working on a website, like I was telling you guys before. So this website will be live in 30 days. We've already got a countdown timer on it. If you manage to find the website and to read it, again, it is definitely something worth doing. We're going to be putting our merchandise on there because YouTube takes 30% of the revenue in which I accumulate. So for every $100 I make, $30 of it goes to YouTube. Whereas if we do it through the website, more of that stays with me so that I can keep the prices low. Okay, so that's one thing that's happening. So you guys know how to help the channel. Become a subscriber, help share this message, help put it out. Also, you can make sure to hit that like button if you haven't hit the like button already. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and become a subscriber. If you guys are looking to help me out in other ways, like through affiliate programs, a lot of that stuff is going to be migrated over to the website so that I don't have to pay the high rates that YouTube and other platforms are charging me. And plus, we will also be having other products and tools that will help you not only in becoming a digital nomad or getting your digital education and becoming digitally literate, but you will also have, sorry guys, I can't help the background noise when you're in a public area, but we will be providing tools and software and other platforms because if you guys heard me talk in the last video, but the video before, where I was talking about Liquid Server Systems and another company that is part of the sponsorship that I'm getting. Now, one of the cool things that they have, and this is just me, I'm still learning it, I still got a lot to go, but just to kind of give you a brief overview, let's say that you decided you wanted to be a digital nomad, you wanted to be able to, go and travel and still be able to work and to be able to gain your own work. So they have something like what's called a virtual private server where you can host, whether it be your media or whether it be websites, so that you can go out there and become, do digital marketing for individuals. And then you have your own platform. And since it's this individual that is my sponsor, it's security minded. They are the security and the speed of the system is something that you don't have to worry about, like other systems that just kind of throw something up and they don't realize the holes that they have. This individual that is sponsoring me, has the security mind to the point to where they are constantly looking for their own loopholes in the way to break into their own system so that they can keep their security. Okay, because security is going to be the most important thing. And whether you have clients or whether you're doing it for yourself, this is something that you as an individual really want to be aware of. So if you want to check out liquidserversystems.com, or if you also want to check out jumpline.com, we will be coming out with more information. I will be doing specific content that will be advertising them and the products and services that they have and that they will be able to offer to the general public for you as an individual to not only secure your own data and to be able to make sure that you have your own security, because just because something's free doesn't mean it's secure. You get a free email from Google, that's nice, but what does Google expect in return? What is their pound of flesh versus paying like $4.95 a month to be able to have your own email that will be constantly secured, that has a state-of-the-art proprietary spam filter, so you don't have to worry about getting all kinds of spam, which, you know, me being in the working for the network consulting firm, that was the one project that I worked on, was configuring a spam filter, and I understand exactly how important it is and how detailed a spam filter can be. And, you know, this individual can, you know, has the ability to, you know, to make sure, because of their experience and their connections within the security industry, to be able to ensure that you get the least amount of spam compared to any other platform that you will use, whether it be paid or free. Okay, so we will be talking about this stuff moving forward. Okay, so now that you guys kind of know a little bit of what's going on with me, what's going on with the channel, and just kind of where I'm moving, you're going to start seeing more videos that are going to be going towards your digital security and your digital privacy, as well as the ways in which you can take your knowledge of the digital realm and monetize it, so that if you want to be on the move, whether it be to migrate or whether it be to do other things, you know, you will have those tools and that ability to be able to do that. So anyways, guys, I want to say thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. And I'm gonna have to wait a few minutes for this to catch up, and then we will end it there. All right, guys, so it looks like it froze, because I'm watching the replay and it is like about 10 minutes behind. So let's see here. So anyways, guys, I'm going to leave this running for a few minutes. I may have to go in and edit it, but I would just want to give you guys the opportunity to make sure that you get to see the whole video and the full video. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for being my subscriber, and you know, make sure to share, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that bell notification. The more people that we have watching and viewing this content, the more people will be able to get themselves prepared and avoid the heartaches that will be coming with not only the future conflicts with what's it called, with fifth generation warfare and hacktivism, but just to be able to become part of the new economy. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Are you watching?